Ever since I was little, I have seen things and felt things. Others around me would call me crazy for. I had something happen tonight that terrified me, and I have only felt it once before. I'm gonna try to tell this like a story from the beginning because that's the only way I can seem to come up with it, my mind, without actually trying to make myself believe I'm crazy. Before I get to the next part, my family has a history of cancer, chronic depression, and bipolar disorder, as well as chronic migraines, none of which I have been diagnosed for. I have started having the same nightmare over and over again when I was younger, maybe about 6. I am 21 now, and the nightmare still pops up from time to time. More often, when something unfortunate happens in my family, I am in a white room with nothing and no one. It's peaceful and serene, and I can hear myself thinking until I cannot hear anything but people screaming and screeching at the top of their lungs. I don't know if it's actually people or if it's something else. It comes from all around me, but they don't stop until I wake up. When I do wake up, I end up with a migraine. Obviously, I don't think much of it because it's just a nightmare, right? Well, I brought it up to one of my grandmother's friends, and she looked at me like I was crazy. At least I thought that was how she was looking at me. Until the next thing that came out of her mind was a warning. She told me that whatever I do not answer them. Don't scream, don't yell, don't talk, don't try to calm them down. Just let it play out. She told me something it was trying. She told me it was something trying to use my mind as a doorway or a gate of some sort to get to this side. She's a hard believer in spirits. She uses sage and other herbs and things to cleanse areas of house. She doesn't enter a place that doesn't make her feel safe. And I just don't mean from people, I mean from things too. I have moved a few times over a course of my childhood and I have always felt things in those places. There was no there was one house that I felt so uncomfortable in that I spent most of my time outside and did not sleep much unless I was gone for the weekend at a friend's house. I left my house every weekend to get away from it. There was one time while living there that I was in my room with my brother and my closet door creaked open. Funny thing is I had just closed it and me and my brother both heard the click when I did. Only it didn't stop there. It slammed shut after it creaked open. And me and my brother left the room scared. I've seen people walking in the halls of that place after everyone goes to sleep, always walking toward the bathroom. But when I go to see if someone got up, no one is there. My brother didn't go in his closet after dark, even though he had a walk in and a light switch. I have never slept with my doors open. When I did, My dog would wake me up, barking at the open doorway. I felt put many pressures on my bed when no one is there, and I have felt things like static in the air that makes the hair on my arms stand when nothing is on. I know it sounds crazy. Half the time, I don't believe it ever happened either. But when it's happened, since you were little, well, you start seeing things differently. I have seen shadows in my grandmother's backyard ever since I could remember. I have seen a tall figure stand in the hallway by her bathroom. A 6 foot tall man with a dangerous aura. Something about him never scared me though. Come to find out later, when describing him to my grandmother, that was my great grandfather. And he always stood in the hallway by the kitchen table when people were over or when he wanted to do anything but sit. I have seen figures stand on her porch behind the curtains of the window when no sound was made of them walking upstairs. For better reference, the stairs are old wood that needs to be replaced. There is no way anyone can walk up them without making noise or the boards creaking. I've heard bangings at her back door, and when I go to look out the peephole, there is no one there. I don't know what they want, but the most of the time they don't bother us. I've never seen a man with a hat or a trench coat either, so I know none of them are the Shadow Man or the Watcher. I don't know if I set something off tonight or if tonight wasn't a good night to begin with, but I went to leave, so I saw something in her backyard I have never seen before. It wasn't an animal, and it didn't look like a typical shadow people that roam her yard. I didn't even know how to explain it. It was a shadow person, but it wasn't. It didn't have eyes or features, but I could tell that even when I looked at it, it was looking directly at me. They have never done that before. I have watched them roam the backyard and they don't turn or acknowledge I'm even there. But this one did, and it terrified me. I got in my car, I locked my doors, and it watched me leave. On my way home, I drive past a cornfield that I have to drive past slowly due to deer popping out everywhere. Tonight was like any other while driving carefully past the field until it wasn't. I saw the same thing in the field watching me. I ran in my house when I got home and locked the doors. I haven't said anything to anyone except one of my coworkers. I don't think he believes me. Nobody ever really does. But I know what I saw. Something is wrong. Something just doesn't feel right. I have got a bad feeling about the next few nights. I just hope I'm wrong.